This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
Right now, get scary good deals on select Ring cameras and doorbells. See who's there. Keep your scaredy cats company.
Oh, it's okay, sweetie. I'll be home soon.
And protect your crypt from the real monsters.
Oh, come on. The sign says take one.
Save big on select Ring devices right now at ring.com.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of affordanything.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of affordanything.com. When I started freelancing, I thought I'd reach the pinnacle of worker freedom. Every morning, I pour a cup of coffee, pull on a warm, fuzzy pair of slippers, and plod into my home office. I watch commuters battle the busy streets while I wear pajamas at my desk. I thought this was the goal, but it's only the starting line. Sure, I work for myself, but I still trade my time for money. I write for magazines and websites. I don't own those magazines or websites. Freelancers enjoy freedom. People with traditional jobs enjoy security and benefits. Yet we share a common shortcoming. We aren't the owners. We have income, but no assets. At least, not yet. This idea has been kicking around in my head for a few months, but it gelled this week after I read Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. It's an old school book. At several points, the author advises people to listen to cassette tapes. But if you can overlook the obvious 1990s references, the wisdom in this book is classic. Kiyosaki classifies people into 4 groups: employees, the self-employed, business owners, and investors. Listen to a person's words, he says, and you'll have a window into which mindset they hold. The employee says, I'm looking for a job with good pay and excellent benefits. The self-employed says, my rate is $35 an hour, or I charge a 6% commission. The business owner says, I need to hire a president who will run my company. The investor says, my team will study the valuation of that company. Loads of people, myself included, operate in multiple roles. Most of my income comes from my self-employment, but I play the role of an investor as I foray into real estate. Your mindset matters more than the current source of your income. What kind of mentality do you have? An employee mindset or an entrepreneur mindset? That's why none of Kiyosaki's books contain how-to information. Instead, they're conceptual guides on the psychology of ownership, freedom, and wealth. What is wealth anyway? In this book, Kiyosaki defines wealth as the number of days you can survive without working and still maintain your standard of living. Wealth is measured in time, not dollars, he says. If your expenses are $2,000 per month and you have savings of $10,000, your wealth amounts to 5 months. Your goal, therefore, is to create a lifetime of self-sustaining wealth. 7 levels of investors. Since many people benefit from self-exploration, Kiyosaki outlines the 7 levels of investors. Which one are you? Level 0, you have nothing to invest because you spend everything you earn. Level 1, you borrow money to afford your lifestyle. If you invest, you do it with borrowed money. Many outwardly rich people fall into this category. Level 2, you're a saver. You put money into safe vehicles like savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. You save for the sake of later consumption, such as saving for a vacation or a house, rather than saving to invest. Level 3, you participate in the company 401k plan, and you might even have a non-retirement mutual fund or two. But you also say things like, I don't have time to learn about investing, or I'll leave it to a professional. Some level 3 investors read the Wall Street Journal, buy a stock based on a hot tip, and think that they're a player in the game. They name drop, my brother at Merrill Lynch says, so they can feel like a bigger player. But deep down, they're following the crowd. Level 4, you have a long-term plan or idea. You invest in tax-advantaged ways and take advantage of dollar cost averaging. You have minimal debt and admire Warren Buffett. According to The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, most self-made millionaires are level 4 investors. They own a business, drive a used car, and invest in tax-advantaged ways for the long term. Level 5, you have a solid financial foundation, so now you pursue bigger, more aggressive investments. You focus your investments in a few areas in which you're highly knowledgeable. Perhaps you own a shopping center or a 40-unit condo building. You have a formal or informal team of coaches, mentors, and advisors that you use as a sounding board. And level 6, you're among the Kennedys, Rockefellers, Fords, Gettys, and Perot's. You create the stocks that other investors buy. What does this mean? This leads to one conclusion. Self-employment is great, but not needing employment, self or otherwise, is the true goal. Freedom isn't being your own boss. It's the ability to fire any boss, including yourself. You can choose to work, but you're not forced to trade time for dollars. Work is optional. You create this through owning investments, such as stocks, real estate, or businesses. These investments should generate cash flow or passive income that you can live on. The asset or principal stays untouched. You live on the dividends and income. Challenge accepted. You just listened to the post titled How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of affordanything.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. It's a simple concept, but not necessarily an easy concept. Right now, high interest rates have crushed the real estate market. Prices are falling and properties are available at a discount, which means F.I.R.E believes now is the time to expand the F.I.R.E flagship fund's billion-dollar real estate portfolio. You can add the F.I.R.E flagship fund to your portfolio in minutes by visiting fundrise.com/OFD. That's FUNDRISE.com/OFD. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the F.I.R.E flagship fund before investing. This and other information can be found in the fund's prospectus at fundrise.com/OFD. This is a paid advertisement. Dare I say that after reaching a certain amount of financial freedom, more of us can move past traditional W-2 employment. I'm not talking about the kind of self-employment or entrepreneurship where you trade 40 hours of working for someone else so that you can spend 80 hours working for yourself. I'm talking about getting to the financial position where your decisions around what you work on, how much you work, and who you work with are not driven by financial need. Even if you reach financial independence and have no need at all for an income, there are plenty of reasons to start a hobby business. First of all, the tax code favors business owners. So from the perspective of tax optimization, there is some financial efficiency here. But also, being productive and using our time in a meaningful way is important for our mental health. I believe it's possible to right-size the role work and productivity plays in our lives by simply working less. And you can control this much more when you're self-employed or start your own business. Here's an analogy that might be helpful. We can all agree that 3 meals a day is an appropriate amount of food. But what if the social norm switched to 6 meals a day, supplied by a corporation, with an overlord standing over you, making sure you eat it all? Some might push back on this in a way that says, fine, I won't eat at all then. This is the equivalent of retiring early and never participating in any activity that looks like work. Or we could simply excuse ourselves from the overlord and happily eat 3 meals per day that we prepare ourselves. And that should do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. I'll be back tomorrow as usual, so I'll see you there for the Wednesday show, where your optimal life awaits.